What is up guys, it is Simba here and welcome back to another WR video on the channel. And today is round number 8 for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. If you haven't seen the last race, which was in Silverstone, be sure to check that one out before you see this one. It's been up for a few days and if you've seen it already, it wasn't very good. Everything that could have gone wrong went wrong in that race. And if you've seen my last stream, which was in World in Qatar, I appreciate everyone tuning into that one, everyone that's seen the VOD, because that was by far the worst race I've done on this game, and by far the worst race I've ever done. And it's still up there if you want to go check it out. I'll just leave it in front of your screen right now, but I do appreciate the support from everyone because that is something I don't wish to replicate ever again. So we're looking to try and get some momentum back going into the final 3 races, where we are mathematically in the championship, but Schumacher is very quick, so we're going to need some big results to try and mount an unlikely push for the title. If you're looking forward to this one, make sure you hit the like button, get subscribed for more Lee Racing content, and without wasting any more time, let's get straight into qualifying. So let's get into it then. Time for qualifying for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. First of all, the attendance is pretty low, only 12 of us racing, so it's up to us to try and beat what's in front of us as we're coming to the end of our first lap. We've put in a lot of fuel for the start of the session as we're going to try and just get acclimatised to the conditions on one set of tyres, because the tyres don't wear out at all. But the first lap is over and we go P3. Alright, we're P3, albeit over 5.5 tenths off. That's crazy. Cheers, Blaze, mate. Appreciate the support as always, my friend. Albeit quite a way off, and on to later on in the session. I think this is our 3rd or 4th lap on these tyres. We're going purple in both sectors. We absolutely rotate the car through the first part of the Variante Alta, and through the second part we get that exit quite nicely done. So we're nearly half a second up as we go into the 2 Ravazzas. Down to 3rd. Nice clean exit, making sure it's nice and clean all the way through, as we get a decent run out of the second Ravazza as well. 6.5 tenths up and up to the line. That's pole position. Boom. Look at that. B1. That chicane was nuts. Yeah, mate, I don't know how I did that, but... Oh, come on. Every time. Every time. But it doesn't last long as Nilo absolutely batters the lap by quite a margin. And we're getting ready for the final runs of the session. And now you can see CSI Jensen has gone for a set of soft compound tyres. So I was thinking we're on the wrong tyre for the final runs of the session, because the track has stopped raining, but it's still a little bit greasy out there. So we're going to see what we can get out of the intermediate tyres. Out of the first 3 corners, we're nearly half a second up already. 4 tenths up going into the Villeneuve chicane. Down to 4th. We don't get the exit spot on there. We completely have a moment. And Tosa's not very clean through the rotation, so we decide to back out of it. We're talking at least a 9 out of 10 fuck up. People are on softs, the tracks are drying, and I'm on inters again. So I'm probably going to end up last. There's literally a minute left. Well, we'll do a lap anyway. Well, I'm about to start a lap now. I might as well get it done anyway. So you heard me just saying there, I'm confident that I've messed up, but we've got one more chance to try and improve. We're down in 5th, so we do need a lap. Otherwise, we might end up last if we can't find an improvement. Down the main straight towards the Tombarello chicane, turn number 1, down to 4th, through 2, nicely done, and up the gears, using the overtake through turn 3, bit of a moan on the curb, and looks like we've just matched the first part of the lap into Villeneuve. This is where we had a bit of a moment on the exit of the second part, bit of a drift on the way out, but it's a much cleaner exit. 26.0 through the first part of the lap. Quite a way faster than Ollie Hornby, slightly awkward out of Tosa as we climb up the hill towards the heart of Sector 2. Nilo does a 20.7, so the fact we're only 7 tenths up is nowhere near what it needs to be. if you want to try and push for pole position. Into Acre Minerale, some of the worst corners on the racetrack. We get through that one, that section quite nicely. And now we're at second up, going into the Variant Delta, 1.1 seconds up. But again, it's nowhere near what it needs to be, despite being over a second up on the Delta. So we're going to need a big final 2 Ravatas here, down to third, making sure it's clean to build for the second part. And the exit's pretty solid as well, straight on the overtake, quite a way up on the Delta. What is it going to be across the line? And it's P4, only a 21.3. And that is P4 for now.
That's not ideal. Miles off, miles and miles off.
And you can see me just not exactly happy with that. We were not really in the fight for pole position. You can see the soft run didn't really work as typical. It's just behind us in 7th, but that lap looked a bit safe. But we're going to see what we can do from P6 on the grid, as there's only 12 others. So let's get into the race and see what happens.
Right, let's go. Let's try not to die on lap 1. That will be highly appreciated. Oh shit, I'm on hard. Ah well. We'll give it a go anyway.
And we've only got off and started on the wrong compound, but we're going to see how it works out through the 32 laps around the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. And the lights are out, and we are underway in Imola for round number 8. And the getaway is actually pretty good. We've drawn alongside and ahead of Tier 10 Wards going into the Tombarello chicane. Looks like we're going to try our Max Verstappen impression from earlier this year on Oscar Piastri, but we're still side by side with the RB as we go into the Villeneuve chicane. He's still going to keep it in there, so we're going to be mindful of the space being given through the chicane. And by the time we get to Tosa, we emerge ahead and up into P5, and that is the perfect opening lap. So on the hard tyre, you want to make sure that you just survive the opening lap, because the mediums are going to be so much quicker than the hards. It takes a while for the harder compound to get up to temperature. So the fact that we've not only maintained a position, but we've gained one is a huge win. And the hards felt really good on this stint. But we're going to see if the old strategy works, as you can tell by the title, as we pick up a warning for track limits, as it's easy to get penalties around here. But nothing really much happens. We're just in the train. Yeah, I'm feeling quite good at this stage. By the time we cut to lap number 10, the mediums are no longer the tyre to be on anymore. And it's just a matter of waiting on who's going to box first and when is it going to happen. And it looks like it's going to happen at the end of lap number 10. Nilo boxes early to get rid of the mediums. So we're up into P4. And the pace looks like it's slowed down quite a bit. You can see I've gone over a second slower than my personal best at the time. As you can see there, Luke has made a very nice move on Thomas. And Thomas goes around the outside through the exit of Tombarello to take the lead. And he's done that quite superbly. He moves up into P1, the pole sitter, down to P2, and he's definitely going to try and reclaim that place back. But he has a moment which affects Schumacher through Tosa, and we say thank you very much. We will take the position, and in between laps, we were trying to size up a move on the championship leader, but Luke has just given us the opportunity, and we stroll right through the door and up into the podium places on lap number 12. So we're exactly where we need to be for this strategy to work, but we need to keep in mind that Nilo has been on these tyres for 2 laps now, and he's going to be quite a way quicker on his new fresh hard compound tyres. It looks like the hard tyres are the tyres you want to cherish around here, so we're going to see what we can do. Obviously, we are faster at this stage, so I am hoping to try and get past as soon as we can, and also be mindful of the battery as Thomas dives into the pits, but he gets a speeding penalty as well, and you can hear me say that in the background, which isn't ideal for him, and that's his race effectively ruined. On to the end of lap 13, you can see that Schumacher has now dipped into the box as well, and Luca has stayed out, so now that gives us the perfect chance to use the battery, use the DRS, and stroll into the lead of this race. And we've done it at a pretty crucial time, albeit a bit of a moment through the Tombarello chicane, and now it's down to us to make this work. We need to push as much as we can over the next couple of laps just to maintain a decent pace to make this overcut work, because we're the only person on this strategy. We don't have anyone else to work with, so let's see what we do. End of lap 14,
18.8 as the lap. Unfortunately, the gap is coming down quite a lot. So you can see lap 15, the gap 17 seconds and a 19.3. And by the time we get to the end of lap 16, that gap has come down to 14 seconds.
Okay, they're on old hard tyres. Their tyres are 3 laps old. And the time last lap, 1 minute 17.2.
We did a 19.8 and Thomas has done a 17.2. So we're losing time hand over fist despite pushing as much as we can. And you can see by the time we get to the end of lap 19, that gap has just completely shrunk. Not even 7 seconds to the car behind. And it just seems that we didn't really have the pace to make this work. And to make this strategy work normally on this, to make the overcut work on this game, and just in general, you need a pace advantage over the cars around you. And I don't think we really had that for this race. So it's going to be hard to make this work. Only issue is this pit lane is so bloody long. I might have actually underestimated how far 8th is compared to everyone else. But we're going to give this a go.
And those are the 2 further problems that we've got to deal with. The pit lane, we've lost 29 seconds in the pits there. And we're in P8. And we're a good 7 seconds off TF10 Wards and Ollie Hornby behind Typical. We do get the hammer down, we do push. We do a personal best of a 16.1. And we were catching hand over fist at least 2 seconds a lap. But it's not enough. And that advantage has faded away by the time we get to lap 27. And another thing is, we're on 2 warnings right from the start of the race.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, I've ruined it. GG's. Penalty. With just over 5 laps to go. You're not funny, Oscar, mate. Shut up.
And unfortunately, we get a 3-second penalty, which isn't going to help, because I think Wards has a penalty up ahead. So we were looking at maybe P5 if we could get into the DRS train. But we have a second problem, and that is we don't have much fuel. You can see that yellow light flashing. It was the same problem as the co-op race in Bahrain with Mr. Sparks YT15. And because the tyres just dropped off near the end, it was an effort to stay within Ollie Hornby's 3-second gap, because he's got 6 seconds of penalties. Meanwhile, Luca extended the first stint and has won the race. Meanwhile...
Oh, I've run out of fuel. Fuck off. I'm not even going to bait Ollie. How undignified. Well, that was shit.
And that's it. Nothing happened through that second stint. And it's a disappointing P7. And it just turns out the old strategy just doesn't work on this game, because you need a pace advantage. And we have really struggled for pace on this game, because sometimes we'll be really fast and sometimes we just look bang average this season. And unfortunately, that's it really. Nothing much else to be said. It wasn't really much of a race. So, yeah. Pace felt okay. I really do wish I didn't make that mistake of picking the wrong tyre, because I think we could have made the original strategy work. And there'll be another race around Imola, which hopefully will be a lot more entertaining than this one. But yeah, 6 points. I don't think I think we're still mathematically in the title despite being 4th, but we're about 40 points off, I think, with 2 races to go. So we're gonna have to be perfect there to have a chance. But yeah, not ideal, not a great race, and that's how it goes. So hope you guys enjoy this one. Make sure you hit the like button, get subscribed for more league racing content. Check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them already, and hopefully we get some results going, because it's not ideal. But until then, take care, and as always, I'll see all of you in the next one.